SKYLARK fans, I'm Butch Hartman. Welcome to Where Are They Now? The show that focuses on famous celebrities that have risen to stardom and then suddenly vanished and no one knows where they are now. Hence the name, Where Are They Now? Today, we'll be focusing on the tragic, then uplifting, then tragic again, then final happy ending of Chip SKYLARK. Stay tuned. You're about to find out, where are they now? Icky Vicky, Find Your Voice, and of course, the mega hit, My Shiny Teeth and Me. Charles Henry Icarus Phineas SKYLARK III was born in a small Midwestern town in Michigan known as Anchor Bay. They called him Chip around the house because Chip used to love to go out and ice skate. Ha! How he loved to ice skate on those shiny blades, on that really shiny, beautiful ice. Yet one day Chip fell down onto his face and actually chipped his tooth. He got his tooth fixed, but vowed from that day forward to only have the most protected, the most shiny teeth ever in the history of mankind. Once he was grown, Chip decided to leave his hometown of Michigan and fulfill his life's dream. That's right, that of being the guy who puts the wires on people's braces in a dentist office. That's exactly what he wanted to do. Weird dream to you, but everything to Chip. So Chip left home, went to college, and became the best darn wire putter honor of teeth braces guy there was out there. Chip landed his first job near Dimsdale at Dimmadome's Dentistry. That's right. Dimmadome's Dentistry was a dental chain around Dimsdale, and everybody in Dimsdale was getting good dental work, but it really wasn't up to the standards that Chip wanted them to have. So what happened was, Chip vowed to put everyone's teeth straight in that town. And that's where things might have ended for Chip SKYLARK. We never would have heard of him had it not been for one fateful day in the dentist office. What happened, you say? Well, one day Chip was just putting wires in someone's mouth like he wanted to do his whole life. He was living his dream, putting the wires in, and what he didn't realize was, after a while, he noticed his fingers were plucking along to the notes. What notes, you ask? The notes of the music being played over the dentist's loudspeaker. That's right. Chip was suddenly playing music on someone's wires in their mouth. And whose mouth were they? Well, they were the wires and the mouth of a music producer for Dimsdale Records. That's right. He looked down into the face of the Dimsdale record producer. And the record producer said, "My boy, you've got talent, musical talent." And Chip said, "Not me. I want to be the dental wire mouth straightener guy." And the guy in the chair said, "My boy, you're coming with me." So he took Chip out and gave him an audition for a musical career at Dimsdale Records. And the rest is history. That's where Chip got his start. So there was Chip going to Dimsdale Records. Suddenly he had a record contract. Suddenly he was doing musical gigs all over the place. From the opening of shopping malls and singing theme songs, to kids' birthday parties, to selling out stadiums in Dimsdale and all across the world. You all know the rest of the story. The big songs he had. Icky Vicky, Find Your Voice, and My Shiny Teeth and Me was #1 in the charts. Things were looking great for Chip SKYLARK. The sky was the limit until Skip's Sparky Pants song, Ants in the Pants, came out. It was a novelty record, not much to it, but you know what? It was just enough to knock Chip off the #1 spot down to #2. That's fine, you say? #2 spot's no big deal, but you know what? Chip couldn't get over it. He'd worked so hard, from being a dentist to working his way up through the musical industry. He couldn't handle the fact that a wannabe nobody would come along and knock him off the top of the charts. He went into severe sadness. He found himself working at the docks hauling fish. He found himself mowing lawns and hauling fish. He found himself working on dump trucks and hauling fish. He found himself hauling fish everywhere, just hauling fish. There was just fish all over the guy's life. And you know what? He was a guy who went from being a boy band teen sensation to a guy who smelled like fish. So there was Chip on the docks, smelling like fish, going home with fish in his apartment, fish in his car, just fish everywhere. He smelled like fish. And then something fishy happened. There was a guy under the fish pile who moved his way out and he said, "You know what? You dropped this load of fish on me, but I'm an indie movie producer." And Chip said, "Well, I used to be somebody." And the guy said, "I know who you are. You're Chip SKYLARK. You put braces in my mouth when I was a kid." And Chip said, "I remember you." And he goes, "I remember you too, Chip. And you know what? I'm going to let you star in my next big indie movie." At first, Chip said, "I can't do that. I used to be on top. I don't want to go back. I don't want the disappointment. I like being here with the fish." And finally, the guy said, "You know what, Chip? I'm going to make you a star. I promise." So Chip agreed to do it. And this man, this producer, put Chip in a movie called The Crimson Chin. Chip starred in this movie because he needed the money and he was trying to make a comeback. But for some reason, the independently produced Crimson Chin, the movie, didn't go anywhere. Oh, sure, you can get it on VHS and you can probably find it on DVD somewhere. I don't think Chip would want you to see it. So that one disappointment didn't get Chip down. He finally wanted to get back into entertainment, no matter what seemed to be standing in his way. And all the time, he's watching Skip Sparky Pants' star rise. And it was still that one song, Ants in the Pants. It was Ants in the Pants, the Spanish version, the German version, the home game version. Skip never wrote another song, but for some reason that novelty song just kept going and going and going, and Chip had to watch it. In fact, even in the Crimson Chin independent movie, they made Ants in the Pants the theme song of the movie. It broke Chip's heart. But he soldiered on. He began starring in other independent movies. He first starred in the Bucky McBadbat story, but he wore a bag over his head the whole time to really duplicate the feeling of Bucky McBadbat. He auditioned for and almost got the lead role in Crash Nebula, the movie, another independently produced film. However, he didn't get the lead role of Crash, but he did get Alien Guy number 3 in the back. That was Chip, way in the back. But you know what? Chip just kept going, starring in independent movie after independent movie. And you know what else he would do? He would still go out and sing every night. He'd go down to the local restaurant where there was a piano, and he'd sit and he would sing, and he would sing songs. And he kept saying, I can't play piano. How's this happening? But he'd play piano, and suddenly he realized he had another talent, playing piano. And he began to get people from miles around to come and hear him sing. And before you know it, Chip had an amazing lounge act where he would be singing and doing classic songs from the past. People started wanting to hear more of Chip SKYLARK. And you know what? His legend began to grow again. Chip began to find out who he was. He became a performer again. Once more, he was on stage, pleasing people, showing off his shiny teeth. He did different versions of all of his songs, My Shiny Teeth and Me, Icky Vicky, the lounge versions. They were huge smash hits, and Chip rode the nostalgia wave into a brand new form of stardom. Chip found himself back on top again, and you know what? Skip Sparky Pants had run out of gas. No more would people buy versions of Ants in the Pants. That song was over. It was passé. He'd done as many languages as he could. And Skip didn't have another song inside of him. But you know what? Chip gave him a job. So now, if you look out there, somewhere in the distance, and if the wind is just right, you can hear Chip SKYLARK and Skip Sparky Pants on a stage somewhere in a lounge singing their classic hits over piano, using mouthwire from braces as guitars, and pleasing people of all ages with many different versions of Ants in the Pants and lounge versions of Chip's songs. And you know what? Chip SKYLARK is happy now because he found his voice. This has been Where Are They Now? The Chip SKYLARK version. Thanks for watching.